Okay everybody, I'm stepping out of the ordinary for today's pattern. I'm going snakehead fishing tomorrow morning. If you don't know what snakehead are, they are prehistoric, invasive species that have somehow gotten a foothold here in Maryland. I'm going out to Mattawoman Creek. Now I took the kayak out last weekend. I had 3 really nice takes, but didn't get a good hook set on any of them. So I'm trying some new patterns tomorrow. One of them I'm about to show you. Now I have no idea what fly I might call the inspiration for this thing. Probably a gurgler, but it's really different enough that I don't think we could actually call it a gurgler. And I really have no idea what I'm even trying to imitate with this thing. Probably a frog, that's why I made it green, but doesn't really look much like a frog. My thought process was I wanted something big and meaty, but not too heavy that it would be really difficult to cast, and I wanted something that would make a lot of noise when I stripped it along the top of the water. And I'm thinking this might do all that, but I'm also thinking that this might make a decent all-purpose warm water fly. I can see this working for some big mouth bass out there. But tomorrow, I'm taking it out chasing snakehead. So there it is in the vise, my latest creation, as yet to be named, just a big foam topwater popper type bug that I'm gonna go out chasing some snakehead with. This is a model 430 J Stocker. It's a size 4, 3 extra long curved shank hook, so it's a pretty big hook. I think it's 2 extra heavy, so hopefully it'll be heavy enough. But green thread, I'm sure black thread will be fine, but I'm gonna just try to match the body color, so I'm gonna stick with green. And first thing I wanna catch in, I guess you could call it a tail or back legs, I don't know. It's just Grizzly soft hackle and chartreuse and yellow. No particular reason why I'm using yellow other than just didn't want to use all my green feathers and, you know, tying 4 or 5 of these things. So that's what the back's going to look like. We got a lot of fluff right here. Let's go ahead and cut this off. And just a few extra wraps to lock this in right here. Now for the body, I'm going to use foam, green foam. This is a 3mm and it's pretty wide because I want a pretty beefy body, and I did cut it at a little bit of an angle to help me catch it in. So let's do that about right here. Just pinch it around the hook. Put some tight wraps really to get this bound in pretty tight right here. Flip it over and see, is that going to be far enough back? Yep, that's going to be just fine. Now for the underbody, I guess, or belly, this is just a white foam. This is a little bit thinner. This is 1.5mm. Let's go ahead, we'll catch this in up toward the eye right here. Just maybe give it a little bit more buoyancy. These wraps aren't real tight right there, so I want kind of a fat body, fat underbody here. Okay, we're gonna just wrap this up like it was a dubbing or something, this little strip of foam. Okay, and my body's a little fatter in the back, but you know, you have to live with that because we tied in a lot of stuff in the back, and I think it's going to be just fine. Now look at it, we're going to flip it over right there. You could probably flip it over and call it done, but I wanted to add just a little bit of bulk up front. Not necessarily legs, but just, I don't know, maybe it's a head or something. But some of these same hackle, soft hackle, Grizzly here, I'm just gonna wrap it as a collar. And it should give me a little bit more bulk up front. I'm not sure if it would make a big difference, but it doesn't take that long, and I think it does look kind of cool. So just as many wraps of this feather as you can get up here. And let's try to pull them down and to the sides a little bit. Might not be able to pull that off, but we'll try. Not really at all. Okay, that's fine. Now let's just fold this over. We want our thread a little bit back from the eye. Okay. Now this is just kind of like a gurgler or a hopper body, I guess, right here. So fold it over and pinch it down. And some pretty tight wraps and several of them. Okay, that's what our body's going to look like, our underbody right there. And now, since I want this thing to just really move water when I'm stripping it along, I'm going to fold it over and leave a big lip up front. So something like that right there. And again, as many wraps as it takes to just really solidify this front end up here. Okay, and I don't think my whip finish tool is big enough to get around this, so I'm going to do it by hand here. So there we go, my unnamed experimental snakehead fly. And you might be tempted to cut that off. I was, but you know, just more foam is going to make it float a little better, and I think it's not going to make it any harder to cast. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.